Good afternoon, Mr. Wiggins.
Good afternoon.
My name is Alvin Roche, and to my left is Mr. Anthony Maradona, and to my right is Mrs. Pearl Wise. We will compose your parole panel this afternoon. Would you please state your full name and your Department of Corrections ID?
Lorenzo Wiggins, 339039.
Okay. And you have a entourage in support of your release today. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask each individual to keep your seat and just give your name and your relationship to the offender.
Thomas Hickman.
Yes, let's go. Yes,
Hickman, I'm Lorenzo's brother.
Thomas Hickman, and you would like to speak, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, next.
Today, Jala, I'm his niece.
Next.
Trinetta Selman, I'm his baby mother.
And you would like to speak, Ms. Howard.
Are you
You
gonna
would
speak?
like to,
I don't know, man.
No.
I mean,
okay, next person,
Thomas Duncan, I'm his father.
okay. Mr. Duncan,
Yes,
are you going to speak?
yes, sir, I'd like to speak.
And,
On the left, go ahead.
Charles Wright, I'm a friend of Lorenzo.
Will you be speaking?
Mm-mm.
No. Okay, next.
Barry Remo, I'm a friend. I won't be speaking, but I've been knowing him over 35 years.
okay,
Terrence Wynn, and I will be speaking.
okay, now only three persons can speak, so you decide which three is going to speak, okay? Lorenzo, you decide.
Yes,
And
yes,
we'll,
sir.
the last two persons in the back,
My dad, my brother, and Terrence Wynn.
okay? Would you introduce yourself in the back?
Bill Calhoun. I'm a friend of Larry Thompson, a friend.
Okay, great. So you have a lot of support with you today. Let me explain the process. I will read some information into the record. Once that information is in the record, we'll conduct a role interview with you. At the time, we'll allow one fire group to make comments, remarks, and observations. And then we'll allow three of your guests to make brief statements on your behalf. After those statements, we'll give you a brief time to make a statement on your behalf, and then we will vote. You understand the process?
Yes, sir.
You are Lorenzo Wiggins, DOC number 339039. You're currently 46 years old. You're a third felony offender. Your offenses are in East Baton Rouge Parish, aggravated battery, and you were sentenced on June 20th, 2003, and you received and you were revoked on that one, right?
Yes, sir.
And you were originally sentenced in 1997, am I correct?
Yes, sir.
And you had 3 years, 7 months, and 8 days left on that sentence, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And then you were sentenced for attempted second-degree murder. You were billed as an habitual offender in East Baton Rouge Parish. You were sentenced on June 18th, 2004, and you received a 65-year sentence. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And then you were convicted of possession of a firearm by a convicted felon on the same date in East Baton Rouge Parish and received a 15-year sentence. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
That rank concurrent with the attempted second-degree murder and with the additional 3 years, 7 months, 8 days, your total sentence, 68 years, 7 months, and 8 days. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Your parole date is June 20th, 2023. And your adjusted good time date is June 22nd, 2068. And your full-time date, December 7th, 2070. And you are here in accordance with Act 122 of Louisiana State Legislature. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Your case has been assigned to me, Mr. Wiggins. And before I start the case, I see that Mr. Karen Myers of the Louisiana Pro Project would like to make a presentation at the appropriate time. Is that correct, Mr. Myers? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Now, when you first entered Angola, and that was back in 2011, is that correct?
No, sir. 2000.
2004.
Yes, sir.
2004.
Yes, sir.
Okay. You thought you never had a chance for parole,
No, sir.
correct?
Yes,
So
sir.
tell me the first thing you did when you walked into the confines of Louisiana State Penitentiary.
The first thing that I did, I was young, scared. I was still wild. I had no moral compass. I was lost.
So you're about 25 or 26 years old, am I right?
Yes, sir.
You had no moral compass. You are a third felony offender. You're billed as an habitual offender. So what entered your mind? How were you going to rehabilitate yourself to the point that you're eligible for parole and you have a parole hearing, you have a chance to be released? How did you plan to rehabilitate yourself to the point where you're eligible?
Well, I started rehabilitating myself a few years before I even knew I was eligible. And it was basically, I got fed up. I got tired of being weak. I wanted to man up. I wanted to obey the rules. And I made a conscious decision back in 2017. That was after my last write-up. I said I was gonna live a life of self-discipline. And after I made that conscious decision, further in the classes, it's taught me that's the first step to change. Once you make the conscious decision. And then I changed my thoughts. And once my thoughts changed, my actions changed.
How many write-ups did you have between 2004 and 2017?
I believe 19, sir.
19. Okay. Are you a trustee?
Yes, sir.
What level?
Class C.
Class C. How long have you been a Class C trustee?
A little bit over a year and a half, so about a year and 7 months, a year and 8 months, something like that.
Are you qualified to apply for the next level?
Yes, sir.
Have you thought about doing that?
Yes, sir. I qualify. I filled in for one, but I had a duty status. They denied it because I was supposed to get a surgery on my left shoulder. But
Okay.
when I went to the doctor, they told me just to do some therapy, therapy. It wasn't that bad to where I needed the surgery. So that's why I couldn't get to Class B, because I had the duty status.
Are you still on duty status?
Sir?
Are you still on duty status?
Not as today. I have a little restrictions, but not according to my shoulder. No, sir.
You have a job assignment?
Yes, sir. I'm a dorm marlin. I graduated in concrete finishing. I pulled a lot of concrete around the prison. And the next job that they gave me was a dorm marlin. So I helped keep the dorm clean, and I'm an unappointed leader in the community of this Angola. I help the youngsters around here, keep them out of trouble. Try to teach them conflict resolution skills that I've learned in the program.
With a injured shoulder, concrete finishing is a little strenuous at this time. Am I correct?
Well, through the rehabilitation, it's better right now. It hasn't got much better through the rehabilitation.
Okay. Let's go over your rap sheet. Okay, let's go over your rap sheet. Your first arrest was in 1993. And you were carrying a legal weapon and you were distributing cocaine. So tell us about that.
Well, back then, that was a long time ago. I was young. I was on cocaine, and I did sell some cocaine to supply my habit. I was stressed out. I went through a lot in life and didn't know how to seek out help for my cocaine habit.
And 3 days after that, you were arrested for armed robbery and attempted first-degree murder. Tell us about that.
I think basically the same thing. I didn't commit the robbery, but I think the attempt murder, that's the charge they dropped, the aggravated battery. And like I said, I was young. I was on cocaine, on drugs. Drugs have a tendency of taking over our minds at a young age like that and have you doing some wild, indecent things. And when you don't have no type of help, no programs, I was programmed, we was programmed, the drugs had me programmed one way. And now with this new rehabilitation that I see that is not the way to live, I've changed.
But you got a break. You got sentenced to 10 years at DOC, and it was suspended. You were given 5 years active probation. Then, 12 months later, you got revoked, aggravated battery with a dangerous weapon.
Yes,
Tell me
sir.
why. Tell me why. Drugs?
Yes, sir. The drugs have you just wild and you doing things that unconsciously, not having conscious of your behavior from the environment to come.
Okay. Mr. Wiggins. Then 8 months later, principal of second-degree murder. It wasn't bail, but you were arrested for principal of second-degree murder. Then 1999, aggravated battery. Flight from an officer, negligent injury, 2000. Battery, 2000. Flight from an officer, 2000. It just goes on and on. In Zachary, Louisiana, in 2003, attempted second-degree murder, contributing to the delinquency of a minor, and second-degree battery.
Yes, sir.
And that's part of the reason why you're incarcerated right now.
Yes, sir.
So let's review the programs that you've completed to rehabilitate yourself.
Yes, sir.
Okay? Tell me about the programs.
Well, the first program is I took Living in Balance 1 and 2. And that program meant a lot to me.
Oh. Okay, just give me a list.
100 hours, Cage Your Rage, anger management.
Okay, now tell me what you got out of anger management, because you have an anger problem. And because a lot of these crimes I just listed involves a lot of anger and violence. So tell me what you got out of Cage Your Rage.
Well, the first thing that I learned in Cage Your Rage is we learn how to express anger at a very young age in our household. And in my household as a kid, my mother had mental health issues and she expressed anger through yelling, screaming. It was very abusive. So as a child, I thought that was the correct way to express myself. And like I say, until I actually found got involved in these programs that need to be taught on the street, that's when I found out that I actually had an anger problem. And I know how to be calm now. I know how, if things get heated, I know how to remove myself from the situation. I know how to walk away with dignity. You know, so I learned how to control that anger, because everybody have anger, but you have to control it.
Yeah. Okay. Any other program?
Yes, sir. Leadership training, critical thinking, inside out dad. Like I told you, I graduated the concrete finishing trade. And I got some more I have to look into if you don't mind.
No, that's okay. Now tell me any community service that you're serving with.
The community service, mostly every year they have a marathon run, to Stop the Madness Marathon. And I always help every year in the Stop the Madness Marathon. That's to bring awareness especially to the younger generation up here, you know, to stop the violence, stop the drugs, since I was a person that was on drugs, I go around and try to talk to the younger guys and let them know that drugs is not the way. Drugs ruined my whole life. My entire life went down the drain behind drugs. And I poured a lot of concrete on the rodeo grounds. I'm an unappointed leader in the dormitories. Well, you know, I stopped a lot of violence, but unappointed leaders don't really get the recognition as the appointed leaders do. But I guess we do it from the heart. You know, we really mean.
Okay. Tell me again how long you've been incarcerated.
19 years and 8 months.
Okay. 19 years and 8 months. And you have not started working on the GED yet?
I have a GED, sir.
I'm reading your most current annual institutional record, and it states that you don't have a GED. When did you get your GED?
I have a copy of it, 1998.
Okay. I'm just reading from the institutional progress report, and it says no GED. Okay, and tell me about your National Center for Construction, Education, and Research certificate.
We have to take those classes, basic for safety on the construction sites. And it covers all safeties, all, basic math, basic measurements. Looking, you have to look out for your other workers. And that's what you have to qualify in before you even begin to take a trade like concrete finishing.
Tell us about your transition plan. Where do you plan to live and where do you plan to work?
My transition plan, I plan to first go to the Louisiana Parole Project and go through their training. And second, I plan to live with my father temporarily until they get me an apartment. And I plan on doing a lot of self-help programs and helping the youth in the community and to help stop the violence. And I will be working with Mr. Mike LeBlanc for doing concrete finishing work.
Okay,
At Champion, the name of it is Champion Civil Service.
okay. What is your 5-year plan? Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
In 5 years, I probably have my own nonprofit organization helping stop the violence with the youth. Because I'm very passionate in that. Our youth is in bad, terrible situation. I lost a son in 2019, and that hurt me, and I learned empathy and compassion for the victim. Since I lost a son, I understand how the victim and the victim's family feel from the pain that I caused. And I'm sad and I'm remorseful for that. And it probably was the worst thing I ever did in my life. And I apologize for that, and I forever be indebted to society for it. I spent a lifetime trying to pay that debt off.
Why should this panel vote for you to release early when you have approximately 47 years left on your sentence?
I believe you should vote for me because I have shown truly change. I have made, like I said, I made a conscious decision not to violate any rules anymore. I took out time to really change myself and work on myself. My mind, I don't think the same. I don't act the same. My whole reality, my perception of life is different. I show more compassion. I understand what empathy is now. I understand other people's pain and hurt. And I think I'm the man that you can let go to go help our communities and help rebuild a community that I helped tear down. I think I'm the person fit for that job.
Been on supervision 2 or 3 times before, and every time you were on supervision, you were revoked. What's different this time?
The program, sir. The first time, no programs. I was in Winfield Correctional Center. It was all violence. I was young. They didn't. Louisiana State Prison. I'm happy of this administration for adopting prison reform because it means everything. I felt like a child when I first joined the program because these programs are needed as a teen. That's what the teenagers need. I should have learned effective communication and effective listening, and I should have learned all these things as a child. I should have learned anger management as a child. And I felt cheated all these years, and now I get to learn these programs, and I'm like, wow, they really work. And I think our youngsters, our youth need these programs. I want to help assist, get that to them.
Are you a drug addict?
Yes, sir. I'll always be a recovering drug addict. And I'm happy to be clean for 20 years now.
Do you need any additional assistance with drug or alcohol abuse?
Yes, sir. It's a lifetime struggle. And I always participate in sober groups. Yes, sir.
Okay. Do you think you are in need of some treatment before you're released?
No, sir. I don't believe I need treatment before I'm released, but I will continue in the groups if I'm allowed to be released.
Okay, tell me why you don't think you need treatment
You saying before or after?
before.
Well, the only reason I don't need it before is because, like I say, I took Living in Balance, and Living in Balance, it teaches us to first admit that you're not in control.
Living in balance is drug education, drug abuse education. I'm talking about a in-house substance abuse treatment program where you get all the tools necessary to make the right decisions when you release.
Yes, sir. I'm willing to do whatever it takes, sir. I'm dedicated to it for the rest of my life, whatever it takes.
Thank you, sir. Ms. Wise?
You have, the record says that you have 4 children. How many mothers is that?
I have three kids,
Okay, 3
and I have two mothers.
mothers, okay. So if you had 4 and you had mentioned that one of your children passed, and that's what you're saying.
Yes, ma'am.
So what's the ages of your children that are alive?
Lorenzo Jr. is 21. Alonzo is 19. And that's the only ones that's alive.
Okay, you have 2 alive. Oh, so you only have 3. Record said 4. Okay, that's what you were saying. Okay. That's all I had, Chairman.
Warren Falco, would you like to make any remarks, comments, observations?
Yes, sir. I mean, he's accurate on the last write-up he had was in October of 17. Contraband on the phone. So we'll write 5.5 years without a write-up. Has worked his way up in August of 21 to a Class C trustee. Continues to work as a dorm orderly. Did have that issue where he was a patient and was undergoing some therapy, but since August of 17, we've not had any issues. Now, I'll say prior to that, he did like the blocks. He was in and out of them frequently. But again, after this October of 17, he's not seen them.
Thank you, Warren.
Sure.
Bill, let's hear from Ms. Solomon first, and you can sit in your seat and just give your statement.
Oh, did yeah.
Now,
Yes, sir.
Duncan.
Duncan.
now, your baby's mother.
She's not speaking, sir.
Okay. So how was you speaking again, Lorenzo?
My father, Thomas Duncan, my brother, Thomas Hickman, and my friend, Terrence Wynn.
Okay. Mr. Duncan, would you give us your statement?
Yes, sir. I hadn't thought of no whole lot of what to say, but I do, well, when he was a youngster, I thought I made a mistake. I blamed myself for a long time for it. I had gone to Atlanta to work, and he was with his mother. His mother and I wasn't living together. I was trying to support him the best I can before I left. I went to Atlanta to work, and I got word that him and his mom had some kind of altercation. She had put him in some home. And one of his friends' mother from school went and got him. And she contacted me. And when I come to Baton Rouge to come get him, to take him back with me, I made a bad mistake. He was crying. The lady that we got him crying, her two sons crying. My heart went out to him. They had kept him for a couple of weeks before I got here. No, I didn't take it back.
Mr. Duncan, we understand.
I didn't take him back. And I feel it my fault.
And from what I see,
Thank you. Sorry, go ahead.
Mr. Duncan,
Yes.
what I see in Mr. Wiggins right now, he's forgiving you.
I didn't take it back like I should have. And the community he was in, people he was around, he went downhill. What did I do about it?
Thank you, Mr. Duncan. Mr. Thomas Hickman.
So I'm Lorenzo's brother. So I had a little different life than Lorenzo. I had a mother that was Christian based, and my father, he kept me working, and I am a productive citizen. And Lorenzo didn't have the same opportunity that I had. But if y'all wasn't to decide to let him go, I have a reputable business, and I work as a supervisor for Turner Industrial. He will be employed for sure. I can make sure he's very productive, and y'all know how short help is out here now in this work industry. I need him. I'm being honest, where he can run his own business. And he can pay his taxes and get him in the 401k saved up and take care of his children who really need it. Those kids been suffering for years, family been suffering for years from his mistakes. And now as a grown man, he has the opportunity to encourage me when I'm down. The program did work for him because it helped me on an everyday basis being successful. His talks with me. I should be encouraging him, but he the one encouraging me. So I've been noticed the change, and I'm here to vouch for it. I know the change. And like I say, employment would never be a problem for him, and he will be a obstructive citizen here, without a doubt.
Thank you, Mr. Hickman. We want to hear from Terrence Wynn, a friend.
I'd like to, I owe my freedom to Mr. Wiggins. I walked out of prison July the 1st, 2020. I was on the second board that Mr. Marabellum sat on. Since I've been home, I've spoken before the United Nations in Geneva, Switzerland. And I owe that to Mr. Wiggins because when I first met Mr. Wiggins, he was leading the charge in Rome. And that long list of crimes that you spoke on, that earned him respect within his community. So he could come into prison and lead his community in negative ways. But then he made that change. And that change led to me making a change to prepare myself to come home. Because this was a negative person that changed. And I was just a person that was caught up in those influences. And he was an influential person throughout the prison system. He had a voice that carried weight. And those crimes led up to that. And that environment led up to that. But then he changed it And so he started saving things and saving people. And it saved me, and it helped me to be who I am right now. Even today, we speak, and like his brother said, he encourages us. But I saw the change inside. He encouraged me to do the right thing, to come home. And now, with a person like him at home, with the crime rate the way it is in Baton Rouge, he has the respectability that could bring change to those communities within Baton Rouge to save some lives. So I think that if given a chance, y'all would know that y'all made the right decision, because he will show y'all through actions. Same way I'm showing Mr. Marabellum and the board that I was on that they made the right decision with me. I don't think that y'all will go wrong by giving him his release today. Thank you.
Win, it is so good to see you doing so well. And how long were you incarcerated?
30 years.
30 years.
Sir.
Mr. Terry Myers of the Louisiana Parole Project. Mark.
Yes, good afternoon, Board. Kerry Myers with Louisiana Parole Project. Here to talk about our support of Mr. Wiggins. But I think I want to preface it by saying that this is a case where prison worked. Short of incarceration, Mr. Wiggins might be dead today. He was on the path. He was on a trajectory. And it didn't happen overnight. Even as in his incarceration, it did not happen overnight. It took a while, but the light went on 5 years ago, 5.5 years ago. And you can see it. It went on and it stayed on. It's still on. It's going to continue to be on. He's done some hard work. Look, he's still got an opportunity to do some work. His parole eligibility date is June 20th. So he's still got opportunities to do work before he leaves. And he's got the mindset to do that. Parole Project is prepared to provide our support, to provide all the transitional support that he needs, to allow him to get the evaluations, mental health, substance abuse evaluations that he needs upon release, work with our social worker, work with our mentors, our reentry specialist mentors. We'll make sure he's connected to all the services that he needs. In addition, he'll get the mentorship of people who have already done this and been successful. So we just asked the board to recognize that it worked. In this case, prison worked. It didn't happen overnight. Many cases it doesn't happen overnight. But this is the whole point. And when he talked about the programs, when they start to become effective, you can see the change. And Mr. Wiggins, for the last 5.5 years, I think the last thing that Mr. Wiggins ever wants to see is the inside of a prison. So I'd ask this board to consider everything that's been said here today and grant his release.
Thank you, Mr. Mr. Wiggins,
Sir.
would you like to make sure? Yeah. Would you like to make a closing statement?
Yes, sir. I'd like to thank the board for giving me this opportunity to speak. Thank the board. I'd like to thank the administration at the Louisiana State Prison for adopting the prison reform and allowing men such as myself to participate in numerous programs that changed my mindset, my attitude, and my perception of life. And I'm deeply remorseful for the pain that I caused the victim and the victim's family. And I take complete responsibility of all my actions. Therefore, I am committed to a life of change for the rest of my life. I remember Supreme Court Justice Oliver Wendell Holmes once said that a man's mind stretched to new ideas never goes back to his original dimension. And I'm here to tell the board today that my mind been stretched to new, peaceful, lovable, and caring ideas that'll never go back to where it was 20 years ago. Thank you.
stated, well stated. Is the panel ready to vote? Lorenzo? I think you're a unique case. I think you've been rehabilitated. I'm going to use a phrase that Mr. Myers just used. I think the light's on. I think the light came on after 2017. As Warren Falcon said, you were in and out the cell block, in and out the cell block. You have 30 plus disciplinary writer, which you not had any in the last 6 years. I think you have issued a golden ticket today. Now I only issue one per day, but I will make an exception. I'm going to give you the golden ticket. Please take advantage of it. I think you have come to the realization that in order to live a productive life and be a good, productive citizen, you must follow rules and regulations. And you do have a drug problem. Your road date is not until June 23rd of this year. I'm going to grant you, upon completion of a short-term substance abuse program. Those programs are usually 4 or 5 months. And you can do that well. And I'm almost sure that one Falco or one of the other ones have a program, maybe the residential substance abuse program that you can take before June 23rd. But I will require that you complete a short-term substance abuse program to reinforce the program that you've already taken. And I think you can complete that before your parole eligibility date. After release, I want you to have a curfew from 9 p.m. to 6 a.m. I want you to do community service. I want you to do that with at-risk youth. I want you to get with your parole officer, get with your pastor, get with someone who can connect you with individual groups of juveniles that need someone like you to tell them exactly what incarceration is all about, to steer them in the right direction. I want you to do that at 6 hours a month. The pastor of your church or your parole officer can help you with that. I want you to have random drug screens, and I want you to attend at least 3 NAA meetings a month. A week. So you can keep that ongoing sobriety plan, get your good sponsor. If you ever have a urge or a stressful situation, you have a sponsor you can call and you can talk to. Good luck. Mr. Marabella.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. My vote is likewise the same for the same reasons with the same conditions. So good luck to you, sir.
Ms. White.
Thank you. Mr. Wiggins, I do want to state for the record that probation parole were successful in reaching out to your victim's family. And I want you to know the victim is still impacted by the gunshot. And his father's still taking care of him, but they had no comments for today. They trust the wisdom of the board and no ill will towards you. But I do want you to know that they're being impacted by medically by what you did. I have been very great to be late in the day. And you just brought it. You really brought it. You came across as sincere. You came across as reflective. And I'm just excited to see what you're gonna do. I concur with my colleagues. My vote is to grant, with the conditions I already stated, but with the added condition, because of your poor supervision history, report weekly to PNP for the first 4 weeks. I want you to recognize that PO is on your team. If they're trying to get you to succeed as well. And look at repairing harm to the community. That's what the community service is. You're repairing harm. So best wishes to you, sir. And thank you, family. Thank you.
Thank you.
Lorenzo, it's not complete. Lorenzo, we're not complete.
Sir,
Okay. You get excited about 30, 40 seconds. You have received 3 votes to grant your early release. Your early release has been granted under following conditions. That you complete a short-term substance abuse program. Conditions after release, curfew from 9 p.m. to 6 a.m. Attend 3 NAAA meetings a week. Random drug screens, and report to your parole officer weekly for the first 4 weeks. Mr. Wiggins, this board is giving you an opportunity. Your brother has a job for you. I think you're gonna be living with your brother. Take every chance to make good on this opportunity.
yes, sir.
So,
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Board Falco,
Yes, sir.
this completes our business at Louisiana State Penitentiary for today. Time is 2:27 p.m. Have a good day.
You do the same. Thank you.